What's up, boys? I'm gonna be doing a UFC 223 breakdown. This is my first breakdown I've ever done. I've never done anything like this before. I'm just setting it up right now. I'm gonna record it. We will see if this ever gets made public. I'm just gonna go through all the topology for UFC 223, the card, just from bottom to top, just what I quick think. First, first fight is Mike Rodriguez versus Devin Clark. I have a play on this fight. Actually, I have 2.5 units on Devin Clark. I feel he's just going to impose his will, impose his wrestling. Mike Rodriguez he's only beaten cans. Mike Rodriguez did not look good in his second most recent fight against Alex Hoban, a 5-5 fighter. Mike Rodriguez got taken down, lost position grappling. I think he got mounted. Eventually TKO'd Alex Hoban after Alex Hoban went for a knee bar and gave up position. Then in his most recent fight, he looked better. He had a good sprawl. And he finished another can, 5-3. Jamal Jones, decent wrestler actually though. But yeah, I got Devin Clark. I think he's gonna, like I said, impose his will. He's gonna wrestle him. I think he could even win on the feet. Devin Clark looked pretty good on the feet versus Blastoise. Hit him with some good punches. Rocked him a little bit. It was a major step down in competition. I got Devin Clark 2.5 units, -120. I may add to him. We'll see. Bookmaker hasn't gotten the odds yet. Next fight, we got Zabit Magomed Sharipov against Kyle Buchak. My pick is Zabit. No bet on this fight. He's -500. He's open, now -800. I'm not going to touch that. I think Zabit's going to just roll through this guy. Let's hope he fights a better guy next. Then we got Evan Dunham versus OAM. It's another close fight in my opinion. Easy pass for me. Both kind of grapplers, so it's going to be a stand-up fight. Not really sure who has the edge on the stand-up. Could be a really good fight, could be a shitty fight. I have no fucking idea. I don't know. Oh, I guess I have to pick a fighter. I'm gonna pick OAM. No bet, even though he's dog money right now. No bet on him. Next fight, we got Artem Lobov versus Bruce Leroy. Got a slight lean on Lobov, so I'll take him as my pick. Hard to tough a 14 fighter. Hard to trust him, but he looked pretty good against Cub on the feet-ish, and he looked pretty good on Feely against the feet. I think he'll look pretty good against Caceres and probably beat him. Bruce Leroy is just really flashy. He's going to be bigger than Lobov, though, so if he can keep his range, he can maybe win the fight. I think it'll be a stand-up. I think it'll be a really good fight. I'm glad I'm passing on. I'm just going to watch as a fan. Pick up Lobov as the predictions. Next fight, we got Ashley Evans Smith versus Beck Rawlings. My biggest play of the night, I got 7.5 units at -190 on Ashley Evans Smith. She's a gritty, tough wrestler with high output, showed good improvement in her fights. She's dropping down a weight class. Beck Rawlings has moved up in a weight class. Beck Rawlings sucks. She's 1-3 in her last 4 fights, getting outstruck in every single fight, including the Paige Van Zandt fight, which she got head kicked by Paige Van Zandt. Yeah, so, and she's been getting outstruck. Kind of messed that up a little bit, going off the top of my head. I think she's 0-4 in her last 4 fights is what I meant. With her only 1 win against Paige Van Zandt, 0-4 getting outstruck. Ashley Evans Smith, she throws very high output. Good wrestler. She's gonna be able to take Beck down. I think she finishes her with ground and pound. First or second round, third round, second or third round. I think she wins pretty dominantly. I don't really see how Beck can win. Beck has decent boxing, but she gasses pretty quick. She throws punches 100%. She doesn't know how to Nate Diaz the punches, per se. So my pick is Ashley and Smith, 7.5 units. I think it'll be a squash match. Next fight, we got Chris Gruetzemacher versus Joe Lozon. I got a 1 unit on Chris Gruetzemacher at +135. Plus money to fade Joe Lozon. Give me that. Joe Lozon, man, he got hurt pretty bad in his last fight by Clay Guida, who doesn't really finish guys. He got hit a lot against the canvas with those elbows. I think Joe Lozon shot. I think Grits looked pretty good in his last fight against Ramos. He doesn't have the greatest takedown defense or sub defense, which is the worry why Joe Lozon is still the favorite. I just feel that Joe Lauzon is shot. Major gut feeling on this. 1 unit play plus money. Let's go. And then we got Ray Borg and Brandon Moreno. Easy pass for me. I think Borg's going to win. He'll be my pick, but I'm a big fan of Brandon Moreno, so I don't really tape this fight. I think he will. Brandon Moreno's just going to get wrestled and I think dominated or lose on the feet. I don't know. I don't really have a good read. I think Borg's going to win. Quick read. Then moving on to KK versus Felice Herrig. I did a little tape on this fight. I think Felice, if she can take it to the ground, she's going to have the advantage. If KK can keep it standing, she's going to have the advantage. I also think Felice is a lot slower, but she will be able to hit KK with some punches, but she'll clearly lose the fight on the feet. But if she can take her down, she'll win the fight there. I'm gonna pick KK ever so slightly. It's probably a dog or pass fight though, with Felice being the dog. Pass for me though, but pick KK as a prediction. Then we got Ali Aquinta versus Paul Felder. This whole card is just stacked with good fights. My pick is gonna be Raging Al. Even though he's only had one fight in the last couple of years, he's been selling houses, and Paul Felder's been looking great. I just have this feeling that Raging Al is going to be a little bit crisper with his boxing, maybe hurt Paul Felder, or maybe be able to take him down if he needs to. Close fight. Tough fight for me to read. Maybe a hard pick with me with Al, but I'll go with Al. Moving on, we have Michael Pettis and Michael Chiesa. Anthony Pettis. Pretty interesting fight. I initially leaned Pettis and then went to Chiesa after tape and then passed all on it altogether. So it's whoever can impose their game plan. Chiesa's going to try to make it gritty and use the clinch, takedowns, while Pettis can try to keep his distance, use his strikes. I'm going to pick Pettis, but it's a close fight. Now we got Calvin Kattar versus Renato Cariano. I got plus 155 on Renato Cariano. Both guys are studs. I just think Canaro's faced a tougher competition and looked great while doing it. Looked great against Jeremy Stevens. Looked great against Ortega. Ortega hit him with some good punches. And then, finished him with a guillotine in the third. But I thought Moicano was winning that fight, but it was close going into the third. And that could be the future champ right there in Ortega. Cater's really good too. I thought he looked good against Feely. He looked good against Burgos, but I did think it was tied going 1-1 into the fight with Burgos until he finished him in the third, so props to Cater. He's also a stud. These two guys are premier young bucks in this division, along with Zabit, and then of course the 1 and 2 fighters, Max and Ortega. Now moving on to the co-main event, we got Rose and Joanna. I got 2 units on Rose at plus 150. Thought that was a little, disrespectful to the champ who, finished Joanna in the first. I can understand the weight cut issue thing with Joanna. I think she was a little sloppy, a little more chinier because of the weight cut. But those are little variables that make up the big picture. And the big picture is that she just couldn't handle with Rose's movement and her long striking. Her boxing coach, Trevor Whitman, is one of the best boxing coaches in the world, especially for MMA. I just feel Rose has her number. Joanna's making all these excuses about the weight cut. I just think, styles make fights, and Rose's style's too good for Joanna. She said in an interview she was changing up some things for this fight, or she wasn't posting videos about the training methods. And I mean, she's been a certain fighter for so long. I don't know if she can just change it overnight or through a training camp. So my pick is Rose. I got 2 units plus 150. And we got the main event, maybe the main event of 2018, along with Stipe and DC, is Tony and Khabib. I do slightly lean Khabib, but I do have a bet on Tony. Plus 240, 1 unit. Value play, I think it's a lot closer fight than the odds suggest. A lot of questions about Khabib still. That can he go 5 rounds? I mean, he said he was good after 3 rounds with Edson, but Tony's a whole other animal. It's going to be interesting. I think Khabib's going to be able to get takedowns. Then Tony has those crazy elbows, but I don't really know. It's going to be a crazy fight. That's all I know. And I think plus 240 on the interim champ. I'll take my my odds with that one. I think Tony can get it done. We'll see, though. It'll be a crazy fight. I just hope it happens. Let's just hope it happens, guys. Alright. Thanks for all listening, if you did, if I ever shared it. Peace.